You've worked with guys for a very long time. I've worked with guys for a very long time. And whether that's on the prayer line, I see that a lot on a prayer line, totally. Right? Like you'll speak or I'll speak or it happens and someone will come and just say like, would you pray for me? I'm stuck in pornography. I want to quit doing porn, and which is totally like valiant and honorable and awesome. So there's no slam on the guy that's like at that spot.
Yeah. They're asking for help, which is a great start.
It is. And I remember the last guy that asked for prayer because he was stuck in pornography. But you know when you say something back to somebody and you're like, ooh, I didn't know I was going to say that. I hope he's going to take it okay. So I was
something that's a little more direct.
Yeah. We were on the prayer lines and he came up to me. I just spoke and he said, hey, would you pray for me? I'm struggling with masturbation. I want to quit. Mm-hmm. And I said, yeah, absolutely. I will pray for you 100%. But I just want to let you know that a lack of prayer isn't the root cause for your addiction to masturbation.
Right.
And I wasn't saying it in like this arrogant, do you know what I mean?
Right.
Which he could have taken it that way. Like, oh, but I wanted to have a conversation with him, at least start the conversation in his mind that doesn't typically happen at church.
Right. Yeah.
Typically we'd pray for a guy like, Lord, would you take this away and make him complete and solve the problem that's in his life, whatever. It's a more generic prayer like, hey God, would you help him overcome the addiction that's in his life and bless him? Yeah. And the guy goes away. But obviously the problem is that porn or masturbation isn't the problem.
Right.
So like in a deal like that, what do you typically say? Like, where do you take a guy from there?
Yeah. Well, I start off by saying that, I have known guys that have gotten prayer and then they stop looking at porn after that.
Yeah, me too.
But I've also known those guys, some of those guys for a longer period of time, and the things that were propping up their porn use were still there and still needed addressing. Now, thankfully, some of those guys actually began to address those things because if it doesn't manifest in porn, it will manifest somewhere else.
Yeah.
And so our goal is not like you and me, we don't have this big crusade. Like we need to get guys to stop looking at naked people doing it. That's like, we're real big into people not doing that. It's not we don't want people on tombstone to say, didn't look at porn, It's not exciting. The reason why we use porn, it's almost like our inroad to go, oh, finally you're recognizing that there's something that needs addressing. And those things, when you address those, are going to bring you a ton of life. Oh, also, you won't want to look at porn anymore. But that's why we want to kind of direct away. So what I would say is if you go to a mechanic and your check engine light is on, and if the mechanic was like, oh yeah, I can take care of that, no problem. And he defuses the light bulb that is in there, or he puts a piece of tape over it and goes like, I took care of the check engine light for you. I think you would probably fire that guy and go like, no, I know that this light means something else needs addressed. So porn is just the check engine light. And sometimes, and I get it. I was there for so long. The check engine light seems like, well, if that turns off, like if it turns on for a while and eventually turns off, we go, whew. And that happens from time to time.
It's so true.
But that can be, something else entirely. So we want the desire for sexuality and what we would deem as our sinful direction that we're pointing our sexuality. We want that to go away. And I just don't think that it would be very helpful. The desire for intimacy that we're looking for, the desire to feel connected, the desire to feel powerful. A lot of times porn gives us that. The desire to alleviate emotional pressure that's built up over time, to give us a sense of comfort and peace that it works temporarily. Our desire for those things are good. And so I think porn, when we use porn, it can be a blessing that we've gone to something so painful in our lives that it has forced us to look in the right direction. And so the check engine light is scary enough to make us go, oh yeah, because I know guys who don't look at porn, who also are not living the life that Jesus paid for, because they are still experiencing a lot of isolation, a lot of passivity, and a lot of pain. It just manifests in all kinds of other places.